Namaste, dear friends. So, as promised last time, I am live again, and this time we are live with a definite agenda. The agenda is to look at some common terms that we use nowadays in the word of yoga. So, first of all, hello everybody, and hope you are having a good Sunday, whichever part of world you are in. This is 7 p.m. in India, and the sun is set, and we are ready. So, hello everybody. Last time I just discussed general things. And today, as I told you, we are working on a specific topic, but we will see how it flows. If not much conversation happens on that topic, we can change the conversations, or we could just have conversation on any relevant topic that we feel would be essential. Hi Lynn, hello, everybody is coming online. Hello Wendy, good morning to Canada and US. Hi Tiff, loved your blog. So I want to start. Hi Serena. I want to start by saying that pronunciations. Meow Savadikap. I want to start by saying that in yoga, Sanskrit is the primary language, though not every literature of yoga is written in Sanskrit. Good evening, Samir. There is a lot of literature in local languages that has had a relevant and very, very important mark on the whole system of yoga till now, but the prevalent language is Sanskrit. And in Sanskrit, Sanskrit is a very tonal language, so the pronunciations are very important. First word that we start with is yoga itself. So it's not yoga, it's yoga. Right, so those of you who are sincerely watching this, you may repeat after me. Hi Shaheen. Yoga. So the last A is not completed as A, but as A. Right, so if you want to say, I'm a yoga teacher, not a yoga teacher. So, though there are many words in Sanskrit which end with an A, but yoga is not the word. Some similar words would be pranayama and not pranayama, mantra and not mantra, tantra and not tantra, asana, not asana. I'm saying it again. Yoga and not yoga. Mantra and not mantra. Tantra and not tantra. Asana and not asana. Pranayama and not pranayama, or something like that. So you can call it whatever you want. However you can want it, you can pronounce. But it's nice to pronounce things in the right way. I'm not taking many technical and complex words. I'm just taking some simple words. Another word that is commonly used, especially if you are studying the Yoga Sutra, is chitta, not chitta. Chitta, yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. So it is chitta. So yoga, asana, pranayama, tantra, mantra, chitta. Hello, Inu. Karma. Not karma. It's karma. So you have to roll the R and say karma, not karma. Satya and not satya. Satya. That is the truth. Actually, something much more deeper than that. See, what happens in Sanskrit language is that many terms, when they are translated into English or any other language for that matter, they lose the profundity. Like one term that I can think of is dharma. We say dharma or dharma or something like that, but the way it is pronounced in Sanskrit is dharma. And dharma has a huge, very wide and profound meaning, which cannot be relegated to one simple term as religion or code of conduct or something like that. So I think we have to give in to the loss of translation, loss of wisdom or loss of meaning in translation, which is normal. Another word that we must have heard is jiva. Jiva. Jiva is the individualized soul. Ishvara, not Ishvara. Ishvara. And then Abhyasa, not Abhyasa. Vairagya, not Vairagya. So I am purposely chakra, something very important. Chakra and not chakra. Chakra, again the last term is the last word, last sound, syllable is cut short and it is pronounced as chakra. Darshana and not darshana. Shiva, not Shiva, very important. Shiva. Nowadays we say Shiva, but it's Shiva. Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, which is ideally called, it is what is called for Patanjali's system of Ashtanga Yoga. Hatha Yoga, not Hatha. Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga. So these are important terms. When it comes to the chakras, the levels of chakras, we start with the Mooladhara. So we start with Mooladhara. The second is Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana. Third is Manipura. Manipura. Again, I am not pronouncing the last A as A. It's Manipura. Then next is Anahata. Anahata, not Anahata. Anahata. Then Vishuddhi or Vishuddha. Then Ajna. Now this is important because I don't know, for some reason this chakra, the sixth chakra, the third eye center, is Vilayavan Namaste, is written as AJNA, and I have seen many people pronounce it as Ajna. It is nowhere close to whatever Ajna is. I don't know what it is. It's Ajna. Ajna. So Ajna Chakra. And last one is the Sahasrara. Sahasrara Chakra. So these are the important terms. Now, if you have any questions, we can take the questions. If you want me to talk about some other terms, or if you want to know, Namaste Monica, if you want to know some important, some pronunciations of some terms, then you can just write it, I will see it, and if I know it, I will pronounce it. So, hello Barbara. Namaste. Today I was talking to a student, and what came up is that many times as yoga teachers, we feel very pressurized to know, to wanting to know a lot of things, especially in the field of yoga. My humble request is to not allow that pressure to build up, because yoga is such a field that you will never know everything. And I'm not doubting your competence. I'm just saying that yoga is such a vast field that nobody can even claim to know everything. And honestly, there is no need to know everything. Yoga is an experiential science. It is not a theoretical philosophy. Though there is a very, very essential aspect of theoretical philosophy in yoga. The theoretical philosophy is only a footstep through which you move into an experiential knowledge. So I don't feel the need to know everything, and knowing more in yoga doesn't really make you a good yogi. That is something we need to understand. Knowing more of asana, more of pranayama, more of scriptures, rattling Sanskrit verse after verse, no need. In ancient times too, the student, the sadhaka or the shishya, he studied under a guru, and whatever the guru taught was enough. Guru did not take the student on many paths. It's not about how many things you read, how many things you know, how many different types of meditations you practice. Not at all. Yoga is a path of one. One guru, one focus, one sadhana, one mantra. So it has to slowly taper towards a practice that will essentially contain few things, and those few things are more than enough for you to attain, as they say, moksha. For example, mantra. The science of mantra yoga is a very peculiar science. Ultimately, the teacher, the guru, the guide will give you one mantra, and you have to chant the one single mantra till you attain the final realization. So, what has happened is, in today's times, there are so many things to know. Information has become very easy, but don't mistake information for knowledge. Information is not knowledge. Information, in fact, too much information can stop you from being in your heart, being in the simplicity. So there is no need to know too much. There's no need to know a lot also. I believe that somebody who has completed a 200-hour course has more than enough techniques to attain self-realization. Let me be a little generous and say that, but I truly believe it's not how many things you know, it's not how many things you do. Simplify everything. Simplify your life, simplify what you hold, simplify your sadhana, simplify everything. and just be in your simplicity. If somebody else rattles thousands of Sanskrit verses, good for them, as they say in America. You do meditation. Doesn't matter. Yoga, you will not know if you are a better yogi by comparing yourself to other. Remember that. Looking here and there, you will not know if you are a better yogi. How will you know if you are a better yogi? You will know you are a better yogi only by deep and honest self-assessment. So we'll take some questions. So I have one question from Denise from Bangkok. How important is it to use Sanskrit with students? Can we just use English since many people don't understand? Of course. Why not? I mean, don't enforce Sanskrit on students unless they come to you and they express a desire to know. No need. Many times what happens is yoga teachers want to say things in Sanskrit just to express whatever knowledge they have. I don't feel it's a need, as if Gomukh, people knowing it is called Gomukh Asana is going to really change some muscles or some neural impulses. Not really. But give to the students depending on feedback. If they are interested, of course you should be generous with the knowledge. But if it has nothing to do with them, then why? This is my belief. Somebody else may feel something else. Carly says, such a good point, the stress we feel as teachers to teach something new. I'm always struggling with this and trying to tailor to everybody's wants. In asana class, new, different meditations, etc. I believe that initially you might have to, as a yoga teacher, you might have to give to the student something that they like. But later on, the student has to be ready to go through some discomfort of self-exploration. It all depends on what the sincerity of student is. Depending on that, the yoga teacher should give the knowledge. Also, please don't be under any pressure to conform with current standards of yoga, because everybody is doing whatever they want. And this is not a rant, but this is what I feel. You as a yoga teacher need to be very, very clear, very, very certain what yoga is for you. If yoga for you is sweating it out in a 90 minutes class in a hot room, fair. Then your students will know yoga as that and nothing else. My sincere request to yoga teachers out there is, you may start with a small orientation of yoga, but always make your students realize that yoga is much, much more than that. Physical posturing is just a beginning towards subtle understanding and experiencing subtle realities of their own personality. So keep the orientation broad. It's like you're serving an 8-course meal, but you cannot eat all the 8 courses at the same time. You have to divide those 8-course meals in many halves and enjoy each half. Yes, Julia, less is more, of course. Ron, I find Sanskrit is very important. The student in my class learn them fast and then truly love it. Then go ahead. Perhaps your students are very lucky to have teachers like you, Rona. So go ahead, teach them. Excellent. But I know many teachers too whose students make faces or show disinterest when the teacher starts saying something about Sanskrit or Sanskrit name or yoga history. Their students are not interested. At that time you have to play it by ear. Who else? Hello Aarti. Hello Manjiri. Denise, I hope you heard me, and if you didn't, then I'm going to post this later on my wall, so of course you will be able to hear it. Any questions? Any discussion? I really find this tool, I need to thank Mark Zuckerberg and team at Facebook, so that I can reach so many people, and it's beautiful. I hope I am still connected. Hello, Samantha. Okay, anything else? If you have any questions regarding, hello Joy, if you have any questions regarding how to pronounce certain terms, you can always write to me, and I will send you a voice clip of the pronunciation. So Barbara says, I asked my students to name in their heads at least 10 people who they love, and no one loved themselves. I think very important to remind class that compassion should start with them. Of course, of course. Yes, Barbara, I just read it out. Yes, this is very, very important in modern yoga scenario that, hello Joy, it's very, very important that the whole exercise of yoga, no matter how it starts, it may start as yoga philosophy, it may start as yoga asana, it may start as pranayama. The whole exercise of yoga is first to transform yourself. Remember that. It's first to transform yourself. Yoga equips us to handle ourselves and our limited mind in a much better way. Once you have that capability of managing that mind of yours, then we can go out and spread whatever little love, peace, compassion that we have. But if you don't work on yourself, if you don't empower yourself, if you don't find at least a little ounce of peace within you, and then you are very driven towards activism, which is okay, but if you are driven to activism without any self-empowerment, then it is, I feel, selfishness, and it is not compassion. Your selfishness is driving you towards activism and not your compassion. So before you jump to help somebody, ask yourself honestly if I am empowered to really, really help them. And in this way, I feel what Barbara has said, it is very important. It's very, very important to come to ourselves, because there are so many modes through which our mind, our attention is distracted externally in today's times. It is very hard to bring our mind, our attention, our sensitivity, our compassion, our love towards ourselves. It is not selfish. It is not selfish to give yourself some attention. It is not selfish to be considerate and compassionate with yourself. It is not selfish to love yourself. Not at all. And I feel somewhere, though it sounds like a very modern understanding, yoga doesn't much talk about self-love as such, theoretically, but we can assume that the whole idea of self-love starts by getting to knowing yourself better. Self-love is not just about going to a beauty parlor and getting a pedicure. No, it's much, much more than that. And the journey of self-love starts by accepting yourself as you are, and then gradually working on those aspects of yourself that you want to transform. That's it. And the more you connect with yourself, the more you will, so to say, fall in love with yourself. It's just like dating. It's just like you like somebody in a bar or on the street or in your office, and then you make an attempt to pursue that person mentally, physically, you call them, you text them, you ask them out on a date. Same methodology we have to use with ourselves. And it all starts by giving ourselves that attention. Even a little bit will help. So Barbara, you're on the mark. Please keep teaching what you're teaching. Please sharing what you're sharing with friends and everybody. That it's high time that in this age of sensory distraction that we give at least some time to ourselves. So Rona says, can I ask you about yoga therapy? Researches show that more you do yoga, pranayama and meditation, the more your brain gets younger and compassion comes by itself and everything and everyone. Of course. I mean, compassion, the basis of compassion for me is equal vision. If you have more compassion towards the others, that compassion towards the other person is not coming out of mercy or feeling sad. The compassion comes because you identify with the other person. You feel that the other person is just like you or is you. And I feel the basis of compassion is equal vision, as Bhagavad Gita says. Bhagavad Gita talks about equal vision, sama drishti. And that equal vision, I feel, is the basis of compassion. If you are looking at somebody else as way, way different than you, you will never tap into the beautiful, compassionate aspect in your heart. So, of course, any pranayama, any asana, any meditation which brings you to yourself, closer to yourself, will create an equal vision in which you will not just look at other people similar to you, but all beings. You will have compassion towards the tree, you'll have compassion towards the animals, you'll have compassion towards the babies, you'll also have compassion towards hardened criminals. So, compassion as a subject needs to be understood pretty deeply. It's not a very flimsy, superficial topic. Compassion is not mercy. Compassion is not feeling sad. Compassion is not based in sorrow. Compassion, I feel, is a very, very empowering aspect of our personality, and the more you get to know yourself, compassion just naturally ensues through you. Namaste Deep. Namaste Adina. See you soon. So we will talk for another 15 minutes and then we will finish our discussion. So anything more to say? Any more conversations? Rona, you are right about the research. There are so many researches that are carried out now. And I really feel that pranayama needs to be taken seriously and sincerely by everybody. It's very funny that yoga teacher, the role of yoga teacher now has become somebody who teaches you how to move or somebody who teaches you how to breathe. The role of a yoga teacher or a yoga guide or a yoga guru 1,000 years ago or even 300 years ago was to teach you how to be your true self. So I think the job profile of the yoga teacher in modern times has changed as compared to the job profile of the yoga teacher, say, in the traditional yogic setup of India. True, exactly how I feel. What about therapy with yoga? What about therapy with yoga? I mean, I have nothing against therapy with yoga. I mean, the whole journey of self-realization happens through healing yourself, healing the aspects of yourself that are blocking you. So I feel the process of yoga is therapeutic. I mean, let's take a look at Bhagavad Gita. I mean, Bhagavad Gita starts off as Arjuna's panic attack. And by the time Bhagavad Gita is over, Arjuna's panic attack is gone. So, within 700 shlokas, verses of Bhagavad Gita, within 18 chapters, Arjuna is healed of his panic attack syndrome. So, I think the whole yoga itself is therapy. No matter what anybody would say, but the process of yoga is deeply therapeutic. And it can be therapeutic at many levels. At a purely asana level, it can be therapeutic on the musculoskeletal fascial neural level. At the level of personality transformation through meditation, it could be therapeutic at another level. So yes, I totally agree that yoga is therapeutic. Yes, thanks, Barbara. Yes. The jaw tightening has a lot to do with expectations and frustrations. Lynn says, what used to come natural is in some is lost. Yes. As a society also, we are transforming in a very different way, right? Just the other day I was discussing with my sisters that it is so normal that the children now they are communicating through texts. During our times, or at least my times, we communicated through phone. During our parents' time, they communicated through letters or telegrams. So everything is changing. The only thing I feel is the mind is becoming, the attention and the senses are becoming outwardly. Those outwardly senses need to turn inward. And the reason why is because we as humans have something very, very beautiful, and that is called as sensitivity. Sensing the self is an ability which is, they say, is at peak with humans. And the more the senses are distracted or moving outwardly, that inner sensitivity is lost. For example, many a times over last 15-20 years, I have counseled people who are obese. And when they come and we have a chat, they tell me that they want some physical fitness and diet guidance because doctor asked them to lose weight. So my question is, you came to me because doctor asked you? And they say yes. But my next question then is, do you feel you really need to do something about yourself? And in 80% of the times the answer was maybe kind of. Very rarely I have seen people come themselves that yes, now I need to do something about my weight. That I feel is inner sensitivity, or you can call it self-awareness or self-acceptance. That is lost because the senses are directed outwardly and the whole attention of the mind goes with the senses. And I think primary role or primary work of a yoga teacher in today's time is to help the student divert mind inward. And the best way to focal point to attach your attention inwardly is a sensation in the muscles in asana, or the sensation of the breath in asana or pranayama. So Rona says, I'm in therapy of the body. People with back pains and after accidents, only in Israel there are hundreds yoga therapists. No, there are hundreds of yoga therapists around the world. And they are all working in their own way, especially now that the new disease of sitting has become so prevalent. I think as yoga teachers, one of the responsibilities also is towards posture correction. And I feel it's very important that a yoga teacher of modern times understands anatomy and a little bit of physiology and biomechanics, because most of the new students that a yoga teacher will get would be needing some kind of postural adjustment. And yoga asana practice can really, really help with that. So we have 5 more minutes and then I will summarize our today's session. I'm going to put this up later. Hello Meera. Hope you have recovered from the rains in Goa. I'm going to post this later on my wall so people can watch delayed telecast as well. So any more question? Hello Miriam, how are you? So we looked at some basic terms. What does it mean to accept yourself? Very nice, beautiful Julia. Accept yourself means not living in compensation of wanting to be like someone else. Accepting yourself means closing your eyes and deeply, deeply recognizing yourself for whatever positives or negatives that you have. Accepting yourself means being okay with who you are at that time. And being okay doesn't mean resignation. Being okay doesn't mean giving up. Acceptance, many people think acceptance means giving up. That's why sometimes I use the word recognition. Acceptance, I feel, is the first step to transformation. And in yoga as well, self-acceptance is the first step to transformation. For example, a smoker. A smoker wants to quit smoking. So the smoker needs to really honestly, ruthlessly honestly accept the fact that the smoker smokes a lot and then he needs to stop smoking. And that is the acceptance. Acceptance is neutral, remember. Acceptance is not self-criticism. I have to tell you an interesting story that one day I distributed a self-reflection questionnaire with some students, and when I took those questionnaires back for a review, I found that most of the questions the students were beating themselves, were judging themselves. So then I said, do you realize that this is a self-reflection questionnaire? I see a lot of criticism in this. And they said, that's it, right? I mean, it's the same, right? And I was really shocked to know that for some self-reflection and self-criticism is the same thing. No, just like self-reflection, self-acceptance is also neutral. Whatever things you have that limit you, and whatever things that you have on a positive side, both need to be assessed, and whatever needs to be worked on, that needs to be worked on in the transformative journey. Hi Ajan, how are you? Can you talk about the whole idea addiction? The whole idea addiction. We are all addicts in some way, dopamine junkies, of course. And we are all addicts in some way. Some is addicted to substance, and some person is addicted to fluids, and some person is addicted to thoughts, and somebody addicted to ideas. I feel the addiction will only go away if you start moving inward. When you start moving inward, paying attention to yourself, however little it may be, your attention externally, your dependence on external sources of pleasure, entertainment, satisfaction, whatever it may be, will reduce in intensity. And this is where yoga has a huge role to play in modern times, to turn attention inward. Rona says meditation every day does the work of accepting and loving yourself. Absolutely, absolutely. If you are meditating every day, you will reach a beautiful, peaceful state. Even if it's for 5-10 minutes, that beautiful, peaceful state will make you realize that the peace is always within you. And then when that realization becomes very sturdy, very stable, You will not hanker for peace externally. You will not crave for peace from external sources. And that's why I really, really believe that how much ever busy a person may be, they should really take time for meditation. But again, like I said last time, meditation doesn't mean sitting like a Buddha and feeling like a Milarepa or somebody like that. A best way to start meditation is just by sitting. Just sit, close your eyes, and just watch. That's it. Just sit. For us, for people like us who are very busy every day with 10,000 things, multitaskers, it's very important that we just sit in one place for 15 minutes. I feel that's the first step of meditation, just to sit. Closing the eyes and mantra and this and samadhi, all that will follow. First, let's get ourselves to sit. And I'm again saying, sit not in some siddhasan or some padmasan. Just sit on a chair. That's okay. Just sit and do nothing for 15 to 20 minutes every day. And that's how the meditation journey, ideally, I feel, should start. So if you have any questions, we will take for another 3-4 minutes, and then we will summarize and close. So today, very briefly, we saw the pronunciations of some key terms of yoga. The terms were yoga, mantra, tantra, pranayama, bandha, asana, chakra, and such. So if you want to go over those terms, then you can watch the re-telecast which will be on my wall. Samantha says, doing nothing is very hard these days. Yes, absolutely. Totally agree. Doing nothing is very hard these days because the mind is become externalized. And to turn the mind is like trying to rein in a wild horse. But it has to start somewhere. And if it has to start somewhere, let it start by sitting in one place and doing nothing. Thank you, Kate. What can you tell us about mindfulness? One basic mindfulness tip I can give you is be in a continuous process of watching your breath. That's it. Be in the process of checking on your breath. Every now and then, every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes. And then you'll get into the habit of just checking on your own breathing, and that itself will bring you in the moment, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. And that is what for me is mindfulness. Mindfulness for me can be summarized in one word: being attentive. Well, there's 2 words, but attentiveness. Being attentive. Yes, Wendy, when I say yoga teachers, I mean yoga practitioners too. And you are a very sincere yoga practitioner, so whatever I'm saying is applicable to you too, Wendy. Meera, you can watch it later. I'll be putting it up on my wall. Thank you. Thank you, Vero. Thank you, Lynn. Rona, I hope that answers your question. Mindfulness for me is being attentive every moment of your aliveness. Nothing complicated. Hello, Ofra. Nice to see you. So we'll start summarizing now. We looked at some key terms of yoga and we discussed the pronunciation. You can watch the telecast again, which will be on my wall. If you have any questions regarding the pronunciations of any term that you may encounter in yogic understanding, just write to me and then I will send you a voice file and then you can hear it. Then we spoke about how it is important to be simple, keeping things simple. Keep your yoga simple. Keep your yoga simple. If your yoga is not simple, it will not take you to simplicity. Complexity can never take you to simplicity. Simplicity will take you to simplicity. So if something is complex, how will you reach simplicity? So keep your yoga simple. Simplicity will help you be humble, be grateful, be thankful, be mindful, and all the fullnesses will be yours. Yes, be simple. There was a saint called Kabir, and he said something very beautiful, that do things slowly, and slowly things happen. You don't have to be in a rush to achieve any state or any phase of yoga. Be attentive, be simple, be relaxed, be honest, be grateful. It all comes down to these basic variables. And if you can hold on to these basic variables, it's just a matter of time. Our current life has made us very impatient about everything. Patience needs to be built, especially on the path of yoga and spiritual growth. We all need to generate patience, because things that are not in our control happen at their own time. There are other variables controlling those things, and it will add to our stress if we expect things to come to us before time. So just be simple. There is an aspect of trust also involved in this. The more you trust the universe, the more you trust the providence or whatever you call it, or God, you will be able to relax every moment. So yes, keep it simple. Be honest with yourself as a yoga student. Only a good yoga student will make a good yoga teacher. So if you have experimented things, if you have struggled with things as a yoga student, then you will be able to part with those experiences, wisdom, knowledge, understanding in a honest and simple way. Don't worry if you don't know things in yoga. Yoga is a lifelong practice. Just because you're 200, 300, 500 hour, this yoga, this style, multi-style, doctor, PhD, Sanskrit knower, it all has absolutely zero value when it comes to self-understanding. Self-knowing is not thought-based. Self-knowing cannot be achieved through thoughts. So all the thinking is not going to contribute towards your self-understanding. It will just be a fantasy. It will just be an imagination, just another idea you will be creating about yourself. The whole idea of self-understanding is to reduce and then slowly to eliminate the thoughts. I'm not saying this is Patanjali's contribution, which I'm just repeating. So thank you everybody. It was great to talk to you. We have almost like a United Nations here. I see my dear friends from Canada, from the US, from Israel, from Europe, and it's so beautiful. I love this way of interaction. So I'll switch off now. Take care, have a great Sunday, and remember to be simple, remember to keep it simple, remember to stay simple. And through simplicity, everything that you desire can be achieved. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Samir. Thank you, everybody. Good luck, all the best, God bless. I will see when I can be live like this next time. I'll start my travels soon. Maybe during my travel I'll be live, but just like I did last time, I will give you some advance notification and we will have a conversation like this again. Hi Carly, welcome. So watch the telecast later if you want to revise. Now I'm off from here. Thank you. Namaste. Bye bye.